focused really working with our leasing agents. There's a lot of lead management software out there that's getting better and better. Pop-up cards when the phone rings and they're filling out the information. We can really track where our leads are coming from more than we ever could, and focusing our dollars and using the internet to actually reduce our advertising costs, and be able to figure out, and then there's the revenue management software on that is allowing people to, not as much as hotels do, change their rates every day, but look to take advantage of changes in the market at the property, at the unit level, knowing how much more rent you can be charging, or when you need to actually hold back on the increases.
The banks tell us that we have the lowest operating costs per unit of any of the people they do business with. And at this time, I'm not willing to tell you how we do that.
Probably the old-fashioned way, right? How you heard it.
I could say something right now, but I'm not going to. We do not have the lowest costs because our strategy is we invest heavily in our units and get somewhat of a premium in terms of rents for doing that. But where the market is, the business is changing from a technology standpoint is really on the new construction side, because we are, on the new buildings that we're building, we're seeing devices and products and systems that you can put into a new building, which is something you can't retrofit very easily. You can have your TV tell you when your laundry is done in the laundry room, and they're just so there's heat management systems and so on and so on. So that's where new construction is quite exciting. From a leasing standpoint, clearly social media has revolutionized the business. It's probably not great news for the leasing agents, but it is really the way to go, and it's allowing a lot of landlords to be their own leasing agents versus having to rely solely on brokers. Brokers are still important, but the technology is diminishing their role.
Bruce, what do you see in the brokerage market on who's paying those commissions now?
Well, it's shifted now, and it's usually the first sign of the shift of the market. When the landlord is paying the brokerage fee, then you know the market is soft, and when the tenant is paying the brokerage fee, you know the market is hot. And right now we're paying less and less fees, and in the Back Bay we're paying nothing, Beacon Hill we're paying nothing, and we're getting the point now in Alston and Brighton where it's pretty much shifted to the tenant side.
Okay, I guess at this point, why don't we open it up for a Q&A if anybody has questions for our panel? Go ahead.
Good morning, my name is Robin Asaf. I wanted to thank biznow for putting such a premier panel together, and fantastic presentation. Thank you. And thank you, Bernadette Goodman, for your nice technological toy here. I have a question about with the commissions going now to the tenants. I wanted to get a little granular about what the expenses are for tenants. Do they typically still pay first, last security deposit plus broker commission, or have you given up on one of those requirements?
Well, the market is exactly as Bruce described it. Today, the tenant is paying the brokerage fee, a fee, and any other fee fees, what have you, which means the market is very strong. That will change when the market gets weaker. Just the way of the world. Well, we take first and last month, and if it's the credit is not that great, we take security. But in general, it's first and last month rent.
Anyone else?
Hi, question for Bruce, Harold, and Robert. Just quickly, for B and C, great properties, downtown core markets. Going forward for the next, today to the next year or two, what kind of cap rates are you purchasing at?
There's a difference between what you're buying it at and what you want to stabilize it at. We really don't care the cap rate we're going into it as long as we feel we can stabilize it at a 6+ cap rate. We're seeing, that said, we're seeing stabilized properties, core downtown, Bagway, Beacon Hill, trade sub-4, in Alston and Brighton, stabilized deals, or maybe trading in the quality stabilized properties, probably trading in the higher 4s. But once you get over 5 or mid-5s, there'll be a line on the door to buy a quality stabilized property. So I think that's kind of the range.
I think the growth in market rents is going to actually change that a little bit over the next few years. Some retired owners that are selling their properties, if they aren't raising rents as quickly as the market, those cap rates will be lower, but the overall returns will be there.
For example, we have a 40,000-foot office building downtown, right in downtown Crossing, which we acquired some years ago with a cap rate of 8, but we are converting that to 55 apartments. And when it's completed, we will have our money back and more, plus a huge cash flow, maybe $300,000-$400,000 a year. So I don't know how you figure the cap rate is. It's infinite. Infinite.
How about that incredibly handsome gentleman that just grabbed the microphone?
Perhaps one of the best ways to synthesize how you feel about the market and its growth, could each of you mention, maybe we start with Avalon Bay, what your plans are for the next couple of years here in Boston for your own companies?
Boston continues to be one of our favorite markets, probably our most active market, certainly from a deal flow perspective, perhaps not from a dollar perspective, but we don't see any let up in terms of the volume of business we're going to do. Again, most of it here has been done off of our development franchise, so we haven't been nearly as active in the acquisition of existing communities as we have in other markets where we don't have quite the same tenure in our development team. Certainly a shift from the suburbs towards the infill and the urban markets, as I mentioned. Overall, we ramped up to over $1 billion of new starts this year. I fully expect that number to be over $1 billion in 2012, and certainly looks that way in 2013 as well, nationwide.
We're looking to acquire existing properties, not downtown Boston, more in the suburbs. We're also, to do that, we're actually looking to bring in some investors because we really see this rent growth and NOI growth to be substantial and a real opportunity for investors. We're also building on our existing sites. We have several projects in the pipeline now where we have a 300-unit complex and we add another 50 units. We're able to build at really good cap rates because we have no additional costs of an extra manager, an extra leasing agent. The maintenance costs are low. It's very accretive, and so as Larry was saying earlier, we can build maybe higher priced stuff, but still only rent in the $2 range and make it work. And so we're really focused on looking at our own stuff and building that way.
Harold?
Well, we are not in the market for existing buildings today because the cap rates are too low. So we are looking for buildings where there is a serious problem, or an empty warehouse or an empty factory that can be converted to apartments. That would be the only thing we would be looking for in the next few years.
We have 3 buildings in various forms of construction right now, and so we are very interested on the development side as long as we can develop at a lower price point. Larry Curtis had mentioned that all the new developments, there's much as I respect Larry, we're in the $4,000, $5,000 a month rent range. We are developing new product in the $2,000 a month range, which is the only area that we would develop. So that is a market that we are focusing on, and we are continuing to buy existing product where we see the opportunity to add value. So the answer to the question is we're in a very aggressive growth mode, and we're very bullish on Boston.
Bruce, is that $2,000 a month for studios or 2 bedrooms or 1 bedroom?
Now that would be for a 1 bedroom with den that you could probably use as a 2 bedroom.
Windows?
Yes, and that will give us our competitive edge over your products.
Well said.
Thank you, guys. We got one more question.
Harold, earlier you mentioned that you predict the next rental downturn will be sometime around 2016, 2024. Assuming that that's accurate, what do you predict would be the overall percentage decrease in gross rents during that time?
I missed the last part of your question. What would be the what?
What would you predict the overall percentage decrease in gross rents would be during that next downturn?
That's very hard to predict, but it will go down at least 10%.